All right, there is a 400% increase in cooking fires on Thanksgiving Day compared to any other day of the year, and this is part of the reason why, right? Matt Grossclose with the GSO Fire Department is here with us to help keep you from being part of that 400% stat. We don't want that stat.
Certainly not. Good to see you again, Tanya.
Yeah, you too. Okay, so what we want you to do is we want you to be able to text your questions to our fire expert as well. The number is on your screen, 336-379-5775. All right, so there are so many ways for you to keep yourself from being a part of that stat. The turkey fryer fire, we just saw that, right? We're going to probably see it again. You're seeing video, or you should be seeing video at some point of that. No safe place inside to put a turkey fryer.
Absolutely not. You should be cooking it far enough away from the house, not on the back deck, not in the garage or anything like that. It should be on a solid surface. You're not cooking on wood. You're not cooking around any kind of dry brush. You want to make sure, I would put it 10, 15, 20 feet away from the house. Also, you have to keep in mind that if that turkey is still partly frozen, when it hits the fryer, it's going to expand. It could overfill. You want to make sure that you don't have too much oil in there.
Okay, so a lot of people would say, well, it's raining just a little bit, so I'm going to open up my garage door and I'm going to put the fryer in the garage, but I got the garage door open. Is that safe?
Still not good enough. Those flames, as you could see from the video, are going to go high enough. If it hits the flame source, if it's a propane tank that's burning on the burner, and it's going to make those flames shoot pretty high.
Okay, so I believe that we have some kind of like recommendations when it comes to the fryer, like what we need to do with the oil, what we need to do with the bird itself. So let's kind of like talk about that. Let's talk about how do we need to prepare before we actually put the turkey in the fryer.
Well, certainly make sure that that turkey is completely defrosted. If it's been in the freezer for the last couple of months, you bought that bird back in September, make sure that it stays out for a couple of days. Make sure you have the exact amount of oil that you need, because if the oil level is too high and it overflows when you put the turkey inside of it, it could catch fire.
Okay, so that is the one thing to do. So if you have a turkey fryer and you're going to be using it, one of the ways that I've heard before to like safeguard against that is to fill up your turkey fryer with water first before you turn it on, and to dip the turkey in there.
Absolutely. And do a dry run, do a test just to make sure that it's not going to go over the top.
Okay, and then you can figure out, okay, I need this much oil so that it doesn't spill out everywhere.
And keep in mind, it's okay to have a few inches of clearance after you put the turkey in there, because as it boils, you don't want anything to spill over anyway.
Okay, and the whole reason why you cannot not have a frozen turkey or any part of it with any ice crystals, what happens?
Well, that's gonna, as things freeze and thaw, they expand and contract. It takes up a different amount of space inside of the turkey fryer, so you don't want that to happen.
Okay, all right, with the holidays comes cold weather, so we're gonna talk about heating the home. And space heaters, so many of us use them.
Yeah, that's right, and space heaters are something convenient. Maybe you have people that like temperatures at a different level in your home. You have a husband who's warm, a wife that gets cold. You have someone that wants to use a space heater because they want their area around them to be a little bit warmer.
Okay, and so when we have a space heater, so we've got one that's right here. This is a small one. People would be like, really, what damage can that thing do?
Well, the thing is, if you plug it into the wrong receptacle, it could overheat. We always advise people to plug it directly into the wall. You also want to make sure that you don't use an extension cord or a power strip.
Okay, so we've got a power strip here, and people would be like, okay, but I bought a really expensive power strip. It's supposed to make sure that nothing gets like overcharged or anything.
Any major appliance should be plugged directly into the wall. When you have an extension cord or anything else like that, it's got different level of wiring than it does the wall outlet.
Okay, and let's talk about how the safe distance is, because it is a lot bigger than I think what people think. So that's 3 feet. So 3 feet from curtains, a bed, a couch, a chair.
Well, keep in mind, you want to keep your pets or anything else away from there. You wouldn't want them to get harmed if this heated up and we're having a big catch fire.
Okay, 3 feet. I mean, I think to myself, most people are not 3 feet from their heater.
Definitely not. And sometimes people even leave the room when they have it on. They'll have one in their office space. They leave their office to go to a meeting for 30 or 40 minutes. They leave the heater on. Who knows what could happen while they're out of the room.
Okay, so Thanksgiving, one of the biggest times of year for what we said, those cooking fires and things like that, goes up about 400%. You have kind of a very simple, low-tech way to keep us out of those kinds of stats.
Well, keep in mind, if you stay in the kitchen first off and you are paying attention to what you do, you can easily become distracted because of all the family that you have over. Maybe you haven't seen them in a while, you're catching up on all the stories, what the kids are doing. But first off, stay in the kitchen. Second off, set a timer, whether it's an old-fashioned timer like this one or it's a timer on your phone. If it says that you're cooking something for an hour, set the timer for an hour. Don't forget what you're cooking in the kitchen.
All right, and I know people think to themselves, I'm never going to forget what I'm cooking in the kitchen, but that actually happens quite often.
It happens. You have to figure there's a lot of emotions going on around the holidays. Sometimes it's stressful. Sometimes people can be drinking wine or something like that. They can become impaired or they could forget.
Okay, and if for some reason, some kind of fire happened in our oven, what should we do?
Well, first off, keep the oven shut. One of the biggest mistakes that people make is they open the door, they'll grab a rag, they'll start to fan it, they'll give it more air. So keep the oven door closed and turn it off.
Gotcha. All right, and if there is a fire that's on top of the stove, what do we do?
Cover it up. First off, you never want to use water, but you could take a pan lid and put it on top, smother it out, and take away the oxygen.
Okay, and we can use one of those blanket things?
Oh, I have one here with me right now.
Okay.
These are becoming more and more popular. And the biggest thing with a fire blanket is that you want to make sure that you cover everything that you're cooking. So if the air gets underneath of it and doesn't smother it all the way, it's not going to go out. So you have to cover everything completely if you use one of these new fire blankets.
Okay, what I see is the actual outline of what you smothered, right? The pan.
This one has been used
pan.
previously, correct.
And that means that you can use it and use it over again?
Well, it's recommended for only one use. So
Okay.
we use this one for example purposes. If we have someone who has it in the home and they have to use it, get another one and purchase it. I actually just purchased a couple of them online. They were about $15, $20 a piece.
Okay, all right. We're taking your questions when we come back, all things fire related and safety related. 336-379-5775.